Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, let me give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakaha Kodash. I want to give double honors unto the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone that do rule exceptionally well. They continually feed the flock with 100% truth. They do that free of charge. They also uplift and they magnify the name of Yahweh and the name of Yahweh Shai. Let me say shalom, salutations, mercy, and blessings to all the sincere brothers that's out there that push this word with truth and with faith, striving to be a part of the hopeful elect to the very best of their ability, doing the right thing in the sight of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, and then also doing their part to uplift and magnify the name of Yahweh and also the name of Yahweh Shai. And to the very few sisters that's out there that do believe and is seeking to do the right thing in the sight of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, to you as well, I do say shalom. My name is Tabawa Amath of Great Millstone Northwest. I just wanted to show a quick example of how you can't trust the words of Esau Edom, regardless of where you're getting your news source. We're in that time frame where you have to you got to kind of take everything with a grain of salt. Any information that you're seeing, especially involving Esau's dirty laundry, so to speak, you're going to have to take it with a grain of salt, man. Now, there is the beautiful situation that's going on over there in the Middle East, which is, very eye-catching, turning a lot of heads. There's a lot of information that's coming from that. But even with that, you're going to have to, filter it and realistically rely on your spiritual mind to be able to navigate these waters, because there's going to be conflicting information constantly being stated, all right? Especially when, for the aspect of Esau, Edom, they don't tell the truth generally in the first place, man. So it's hard to really get a good grasp on the reality of the situation when you're constantly getting bombarded with conflicting accounts. Okay. I just want to show this real fast. This makes me think of Revelation chapter 13, verse 11, which I'm going to grab that here in just a second. Just on how, everything it's all a game to this guy, Esau Edom, man. All right. Which they are the people who's in control of the whole earth. They are the ones that's calling the shots, man. They like to call themselves Caucasian. However, it's not about their skin color. It's about their bloodline and their spirit. Okay. Just like being an Israelite is not about your skin color. You don't have to be black, so to speak, or so-called black to be an Israelite. Okay. In fact, there's 12 tribes made of the so-called Negro, Latino, Native, and Seminole Indians, and you can come appearing like a so-called Chinese person and be an Israelite if your bloodline and your spirit is that of an Israelite. Okay, according to your father's bloodline, the seed of your father, going all the way back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right, this is just a post that's been going around, and this is Representative Pramila Jayapal. And she says, wow, the money we're spending for war with Iran could help every family that needs healthcare and food assistance. While working people suffer, we're spending billions on another forever war. 1 billion a day for war in Iran could help every family who needs healthcare and food stamps. All right, so we don't really know how much is truly being spent for the war that's going on, the war efforts towards Iran. We do know that it is a great amount of money. All right, I've seen a few videos. I was trying to look for one. I was trying to, remember where exactly the last one I saw, where you have some individuals who is breaking down the cost that American Israel is spending on missile defense versus the drones and missiles that Iran have been using so far. I mean, that information is circulating out there. A quick Google search should be able to land you with something. I was hoping I had something right here on my phone, as I know my internet is a little shoddy, but I wasn't able to find anything. Just and I wanted to get this video out. So I mean, you've probably seen a video yourself where they're telling you that those THAAD systems, the David Sling systems, the all these missile defense systems and anti-missile systems, how they are extremely expensive. $1 million per ammunition, so to speak. All right, and then the Iranian drones that Iran would fly over first cost about $50,000 for them to make. Okay, So you're using something that cost over $1 million to shoot down something that only costs $50,000. I mean, you do the math right there, on how quickly this can escalate and how expensive this could get, and that's not including any of the salaries of the servicemen that are over there in the Middle East, performing the action of firing those things off. Okay, and the upkeep of the ships and so on and so forth. That's not including and factoring in all of that. All right. And the United States would say that they're winning, that they're doing good, but man, I see report after report after report, and I try not to I try not to have be biased against it, but man, it seems like the Americans and the Israelis are getting their ass handed to them. All right. Not as if Iran is not taking their own L's as well, but I believe that Iran is handling themselves on a much higher caliber at a much better pace than anything that was expected by the United States government and the Israeli government. Okay. Now, an example of how you can't really, um, you can't pay attention to the information that's coming too much. You got to take everything with a grain of salt. This is what a different senator is saying. Okay. This was a Congress representative, Representative Pramila Jayapal, who said this, $1 billion a day in the Iranian war, just putting a number on it. But you have the Senator Lindsey Graham, who is he's a Republican. He's been in the news a bit. All right. It says Lindsey Graham has described the ongoing conflict in the Middle East as a good investment. All right. The U.S. will make a ton of money from the Iranian war. So he's under the impression that there's going to be a lot of money that's gained from this. Okay. However, it seems as if the Americans are spending a buttload of money for this. Not to mention, we fund everything Israel has. We fund the fullness of that. So that's all American tax dollars as well. And we give them billions upon billions year after year. Okay, not to mention the weaponry that they're using. It says the U.S. will control almost a third of the world's oil and reap record profits if it succeeds in toppling the Iranian government. Hawkish Republican Senator Lindsey Graham told Fox News on Sunday, which today is Sunday, March 8th, all right, 2026. It says Graham made his comment as global prices surged past $100 per barrel, which is pretty high, a rise that President Donald Trump dismissed as a very small price to pay for the U.S.-Israeli war against Iran, which has launched on February 28th. Graham described the cost of the attacks on Iran as the best money ever spent, and argued that the war was meant to prevent the country from developing nuclear weapons, something Iran has long denied, insisting that its nuclear program is peaceful. When this regime goes down, we're going to have a new Middle East and we're going to make a ton of money. Nobody will threaten the Strait of Hormuz again, Graham said. He added that the U.S. would install a friendly government in Tehran, and man, they got high hopes, okay? And really, they're just telling you things. They're just spewing things, giving you that peace and safety, okay? The scriptures speak about how when they speak about peace and safety, then sudden destruction was going to fall upon them, okay? It says Venezuela. Well, I mean, the rest of this article is there. I'm not going to read out the whole thing, but the point is that you have one side of the aisle that's trying to tell you that we're spending way too much money on it. You have another side of the aisle that's saying, no, we're going to make a bunch of money from it. Let's remember that the U.S. debt clock is still ticking up towards $39 trillion dollars. Okay? Yeah, let me refresh this. Refresh this. Let me get this off the let me see how I can get that off of there. I don't see the X. I don't see the X. But anyway, come on, man. Work with me, please. There we go. This is the number that we want to look at, the U.S. national debt, okay? $38.8 trillion, man, okay? And counting. And they're saying that they're spending $1 billion a day. So right here, where you see it says 38 trillion 859 billion. Well, by tomorrow that should be 860 billion. Okay, and that's based off of the war alone. Okay, not the ongoing the ongoing things and factors that's causing U.S. debt. All right, so just on the war alone, that's supposed to be adding $1 billion per day to the United States debt, man. All right, this is unsustainable, man. So they got high hopes that, future tense, if they are able, if they're successful in toppling the Iranian government, that then they can start bringing in money. Well, that's not going to help anybody in the right now. That's not going to help anybody in the near future. All right. So, hey, again, we know that this place is crumbling. We know that this place is falling apart. We know that the worm is spread underneath. Okay, and we was getting into that at camp. Let's grab a scripture or two. I want to start with this right here in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter. All right. And the point that I want is right here at verse 11. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up from the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. And we're seeing that dragon speak, man. And it seems like everything, the two horns represent how there's always the different sides that's, the different sides that's telling you this or telling you that. All right. In the United States, you have the Republicans and you have the Democrats. All right. That's the two horns. It's the same dragon, man. All right. Whether it's the right side or whether it's the left side, it's the same system. And they dupe people into, believing that one side is better or has a better idea or has a better agenda than the other. And really, they're both working towards the exact same goal, man. Okay. So it has the two horns like a lamb, but it speaks as a dragon, man. And we're seeing that dragon speak, man. We're seeing that all over the place. Now, I did do a Google search on the term pressure from above and pressure from below. All right. Because you see that with everything that's happening in Iran, with everybody that's for Iran, any talking head you see that's for Iran, you're going to have a talking head that's against Iran. Okay. Any talking head that's saying, hey, the United States is in, they're biting off more than they can chew, you're going to have somebody else that counterbalances that, saying that, hey, everything's going according to plan. So it's really tough to decipher what's the correct information to lean on and to trust. That's why it's best for you as an Israelite just to keep your trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. Let it play out however it's going to play out, man. Keep your trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. We're not to be invested into this life like that, man. Okay. Real quick, this is the AI overview. It says pressure from above, pressure from below, and I had to put in politics for me to get the correct pretty much definition or explanation due to the term pressure from above and pressure from below dealing with buoyancy itself. Okay. Pressure from above and pressure from below represents the converging forces reshaping modern politics and state power. This dynamic involves top-down constraints from institutions and corporations combined with bottom-up demands from civic actors, creating a high-stakes sandwich scenario for governments and organizations. Pressure from above, top-down. This refers to constraints on the state or organizations exerted by powerful higher-level entities, including international agencies, agreement, multi-international corporations and finance, geopolitical rivals, central government, judicial congressional action. Pressure from below, bottom up, refers to forces rising from within the society or lower levels of the hierarchy, including non-governmental organizations, social movements and public protests, digital social media, internal constitutes, I'm not sure if that's the right word there. Hold on. Let me have them say it. I'm struggling with it. Constituents. All right. Slovakia. Let me go back to that. Constituents. Come on, man. Damn it. I think I might have just lost it. There we go. Constituents. All right. I'll be struggling with words sometimes, man. Bear with me. Hey, it says, where were we? Is this a whole different one? Now it just generated a whole different thing for me. Or is this the same thing? Nope. It's a whole different thing now. So you got to love that. All right. But anyway, pressure from above, pressure from below. All right. It's contradictory. All right. From what you're hearing from one side to the other, it's going to be contradictory, and you're going to have social media, and a lot of the news, the news that's trustworthy nowadays comes from social media. It comes from independent media. All right, independent news sources. You don't get it from the mainstream. The mainstream is going to be on the side of the government and whoever's really paying them. Okay, which for the most part is going to be a pro Israeli, pro United States thing. Okay, um, but independent media, they have no, they there's nobody to serve like that, so they can keep the facts honest. All right, and a lot of independent media individuals that you'll see on YouTube or TikTok or wherever you catch them, a lot of them are really really against the things that's going on because they can see the whole picture. They don't have to read some type of a narrative. All right, so they can see that, hey man, this is leading towards something that's going to end up catastrophic, which the scripture said is going to be catastrophic, man. So there is that beast that's in the earth that's speaking, that has the two horns and is speaking as a dragon, and we're seeing it play out, man. All right, and we know that ultimately this is all going to end in fire and weeping and gnashing of teeth, man. And we can't wait. This is very beautiful to be watching. All right, but anyway, let me see. What was something that I quoted earlier? I had quoted what was that scripture I just quoted not too long ago? It was oh, peace and safety. Right. Peace and safety. When they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them. Right. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction shall come upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. And you have that. All right. They're trying to for whatever reason, Esau, he cannot just come straight forward and be honest about anything, man. Okay, it's just not within his nature. Okay, he's hard programmed to just be a liar and a deceiver. All right, which is why we call him a devil, a liar and a deceiver, and to constantly be setting snares for everybody, man. Setting traps for everybody. He just can't come and be honest and let it be known what he really wants to do or what his real intention is. All right. That's why the scriptures tell you to never trust thine enemy. That's in the Apocrypha, man. Never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusteth, so does his wickedness, man. Okay. So keep your head on the swivel, man. Stay locked in with Yahweh Shem Yahshua. Stay prayed up. You know, we still got a little bit of things to go through before we're out of here, but we're definitely inching towards our salvation in the end of the rulership of Esau Edom, and that's a very beautiful thing, man. So until next time, I'm gonna go ahead and say shalom.